How's it going, everybody? My name is Corey Kress. I'm a student at Casper College, and today I'm going to be going over the topic of substance abuse. Substance abuse is a major issue in the United States today that we need to do better about recognizing and helping the people that struggle with it on a day-to-day basis. Substance abuse is probably more common than most people think. Before we can help people struggling with substance abuse, we have to understand what it is and what the causes of it are. Once we understand the main causes and why people have the issue, we need to be active about helping those people and reaching out to get help. Once we understand the main causes and why people have this issue, we need to be active about helping the people that are struggling and reach out to the sources that will provide during our time together. If we don't do anything about this epidemic that has already grown way too much, I have a bad feeling that we might not be able to decrease the already alarming number of people that abuse substances. Substance abuse is an epidemic that I don't think people realize how big it really is. Let's start by taking a guess of how many people in the United States abuse a substance. Substance abuse is an epidemic that I don't think people realize how big it really is. Let's start by taking a guess of how many people in the United States abuse a substance. If you guess that 27 million people in the United States today have had any illicit drug use, you are correct. That's an insane number. According to a study done by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration, stated that in 2014, 27 million people aged 12 or older used an illicit drug in the past 30 days, which corresponds to about 1 in 10 Americans. This percentage in 2014 was higher than those in every year from 2002 through 2013. The illicit drug use estimate for 2014 continues to be driven primarily by marijuana use and the non-medical use of prescription pain relievers, with 22.2 million current marijuana users aged 12 or older and 4.3 million people aged 12 or older who reported current non-medical use of prescription pain relievers. That means in a small state like Wyoming, with a population of about 570,000 people, approximately 57,000 of those people suffer from some sort of substance abuse. The proportion of people with mental illnesses and depression issues are also very seriously close, with about 1 in 5 people having mental illnesses, and those who have used drugs between the age of 12 and 17 having an 18% increase having depression symptoms. Approximately 80% of people that struggled with drug disorder also abused alcohol as well, according to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. With that being said, it means that out of those 27 million people who have used drugs, about 8 million of those people struggle with mental disorder or depression. Not only is this issue very widespread, but it has also costed the United States an estimated $200 billion in healthcare and legal fights, according to the Office on National Drug Control Policy. Now that we know how big the epidemic is of substance abuse, we need to look further into why people turn to that. Since we have talked about the statistics in substance abuse, it's time to understand what kinds of drugs are being used or considered under that list. The most common substances that are abused are alcohol and marijuana, inhalants, narcotics, stimulants, and anabolic steroids. There are many reasons and causes for people to turn to abusing substance. I think it is important to understand those before we can even attempt to recognize and help the people that are struggling. Like anything else, people give many reasons for starting to drink alcohol or use drugs. For some people, they are just looking for an easy way to get away from stress at home, school, relationships, and many other places. Some people hope it will help them fit in with a certain group or make them seem older than they really are. There are also the cases where people are using it to help relieve the pain from being depressed. Some people are even curious as to what the hype of using these drugs or alcohol is. The problem with this is that there is no real way to tell which of those people are going to continue to abuse those drugs or alcohol. There are many factors and risks that go along with substance abuse, such as family history of substance abuse, using those substances at a young age, depression, low self-esteem, poverty, being neglected or abused as a young child, and stress caused from family like divorces and fights. Since we know some of the causes and different types of drugs, it is now important to understand the symptoms and how we can help those that are struggling with substance abuse. There are a few signs to help us know if someone might be struggling from substance abuse, so that we might be able to help them, because a lot of the time they won't be able to get the help themselves because they won't bring themselves to get help from others because they just feel like they don't need to. According to drugabuse.com, physically people will show signs of being tired, have bloodshot eyes, dilated or constricted pupils, have abrupt weight changes, and have problems sleeping or sleeping too much. There also can be changes behaviorally, such as increased aggression or irritability. Changes in attitude or personality, being lethargic, having depression, sudden changes in social network, dramatic changes in habits or priorities, and involvement in criminal activity are all good signs of people that might be struggling with substance abuse. It is possible for people to get up to a point where they overdose on certain drugs and can cause damage to their body or even kill them in some of the worst cases. Most substances in one way or another alter the brain to a point where someone is not thinking clearly, causing them to do something they wouldn't normally do. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, if someone you care about is suspected to be having issues with drugs, try to convince them to see a doctor to start taking the steps in order to locate and get help from a health professional. It takes a lot of courage for someone to admit that they are struggling with drug abuse. So don't push them into doing something they intently do not want to do. This can cause more issues than it's even worth. But instead try to find other options in that area that they might be likely more to try out. There is also a hotline available to seek advice for these types of things from drugabuse.gov. I will provide the links down below for that if anybody wants to look at those. I think it's very important to take a look at that and see how we can help those people that we care about dearly that are struggling with substance abuse. If you do happen to call that hotline at drugabuse.gov, there should be someone able to give you more options to help moving forward for the person that you care about and you're trying to get them help. So go ahead and give them a call, see what the options are, and see if we can't get those people that are needing help the help they need. Now that we know what substance abuse is and how we can help people with it, we need to start actively helping those people we care about that are in need of help. If you notice one of your friends or family struggling with any kind of addiction, feel free to reach out to them or one of the professional hotlines to get them help they need. Substance abuse is an epidemic that needs to be more closely looked at instead of allowing the people to continue their addictions that could cause them self-harm or even death in the long run. We don't want that. I'll provide links for even more information on substance abuse and places to get help. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to ask. I'll try and respond to them as bestly as I can. Thank you, and bye.